Thanks.
This is Sam Herman, and this is why you should shop local. Shopping local helps create a feeling for your town. It's more than just different stores. I mean, you have like a city body. When you shop local, you're not, when like a local store opens, they not only support your city, but they also support artisans like contractors, architects, your interior designers, contractors, and then also things like accountants, stockbrokers. You have your insurance agencies, stuff like that, that will be supported more with a local business. They carry more local products. A local shop is more likely to be in tune with the local products that are offered in your area, such as produce, local artisans, craftsmen, stuff like that. Local businesses come in a much larger variety of options. I mean, they're not only created by the owner's taste, but also customers. I mean, your customer base is much more, it seems to influence smaller businesses than it would a large option like Walmart. You also have your community character. I mean, it really defines our cities. Things like Taste of Texarkana, I mean, it really makes an impact. People get involved and they really like supporting and showing their support for their local businesses. Land use, there was a local merchant study that showed that the sales were quadruple per square foot, or for a local economic return per square foot was quadruple for a local shop versus an option like Target. So I mean, that's 4 times the amount of money coming in per square foot. I mean, that can really make a difference. My experience when I was buying local, when I found out I was pregnant, I was really researching and trying to figure out what products we would use, and it was really hard because I wasn't able to see them in person. When you're shopping online or big box store, they don't have all of their options out there. And so I found a place called Oh Baby here in Texarkana, and it was great. I was able to go in, I was able to see the items there, and I was able to touch them and feel them and try them, and she was super helpful. She knew the ins and outs, and that really impacted my buying process. I mean, I felt much more comfortable on these big purchases, and it took a lot of the stress away. Also, we have Ironwood. It's a great local restaurant here in Texarkana. We have celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, wedding receptions. I mean, all these items here at Ironwood, and it gives me an opportunity personally to not only support a local business, but to enjoy amazing food. I mean, it's got a great atmosphere, and we really enjoy going there. According to the effects of Walmart on local labor markets, 1 employee, when you open up a Walmart, it replaces 1.4 existing employees. So, I mean, the average Walmart, I think, employs 150 people. So when you bring in a Walmart that's employing 150 people, replacing 1.4 people, that's up to 60 people that can be left without a job. In a small community, I mean, that's really a lot to think about. A study called Living Wage Policies on Big Box Retail shows that Walmart employees are making on average 12.4% less than the average retail employee. Low prices are great, but we should not be taking these low prices at the cost of our fellow citizens. I mean, your neighbor, I mean, people you know are making 12.4% less. Impact studies, it was done by Civic Economics. It's a great resource. This one was on Albuquerque, New Mexico. They said that national retail chains put 25.4% less back into the economy than an independent resource. I mean, that's 25%, that's a large chunk there. Independents on average are putting in 25% into profit, 7.6 into internal use, 4.7 into resale, and 1.8 into charity. That's 39% of their profit that they are putting back into your community. This goes to your schools, their patrons, people that they're paying. I mean, there's a lot this goes into. Restaurants, they've got a little bit different here because they're buying food, their profit and everything is just a little bit different than retail. They're putting the nationals are putting 46.9% less back into their economy than your local restaurant. On average, the local restaurants put 36.6% into profit and labor, 18.5% into internal use, 20.4% into resale, and 1.9% into charity. That's 77% of their profit that's going back to you guys. I mean, this is 77%, that's huge. It's 3/4 of the revenue that's going to be circulating through your local economy. An idea that has been circulated through many of the journals I read was a 10% shift. They wanted to take it and just take a cutout and be like, if 10% of consumers switched over from a big store like Target or Walmart and shifted that 10% of their spending over into a small box store, what would it do for their economy? And in Albuquerque, New Mexico, if they took a 10% shift, just 10% of their spending to go over, it would be $179 million going back into it. Not $179 million going to small province, but $179 million going back into their economy. The same study done by Civic Economics was also done in Monadnock, New Hampshire, and they showed that retail chains, they were put 48.8% less back into their economy. Independents on average put 62.4% back into their economy. 62.4, I mean, that's over half of their earnings are going back straight into their economy. That was a huge difference. Their 10% shift, I mean, you guys, I had just spoken about the 10% shift. For Monadnock, their numbers were going to be the equivalent of $27 million. I tried to look on the census reports and see what their population size was, and it was kind of difficult to find out, but it seems to be a very small area, a little bit less than the size of Texarkana. So $27 million is a huge, huge deal for them. There was a study done, it was called The Impacts of Big Box Retail on Downtown. Two authors went in and they tracked the economy spending. They went in, took all the consumers, they did surveys and saw what their spending habits were before a Target was being built and then the 2 years after a Target was being built. And it was really interesting to see because this is the only comparison I could find like this. And shopping downtown experienced about a 3.3% drop, which, I mean, over 2 years, I mean, that could be up to a different matter of things. But the shopping outside of Davis, California, which is where the survey was done, dropped 18.2%. I mean, 18.2% is a massive drop for spending outside of their county. Target did receive 14.1% of the total spending, but their downtown received a little bit more than what Target was receiving at 14.8%, which is, I mean, that's a large chunk for their downtown. I mean, that's pretty impressive. The largest drop can be explained for the downtown, the out of Davis City spending can be explained by the fact that they didn't replace the spending that they already had. They didn't replicate that. They expanded on the options they already had. People were leaving Davis County to go and shop for things that they could find in a big box store that their downtown didn't offer. Target didn't come in and replace what the downtown already offered. It expanded their options so that money is actually staying in Davis County, which I thought was an interesting study. Detroit, Michigan has fully gotten behind the Small Business Saturday, and they had something that started in 2013 with American Express. They started their National Shop Small campaign. In Detroit, changed it a little bit, and they started something called a passport. They offer this free little thing called a passport, and you can go through multiple stores through their downtown, and you get stamps when you purchase something there, and that can be redeemed later for incentives such as like free coffee, free cookies, free items, percentages off your next purchase. In their first year in 2013, they had over 20 different stores across Detroit, and I mean that's a huge turnout for the first year. Support has been, I mean, really coming out over the last couple of years. I think in 2014, Obama went out and sent an official memo before Black Friday saying that we really need to get out and support our small businesses over the holidays. I mean, people are going out spending billions of dollars, and we really need to focus and support our small businesses and try to funnel some of this revenue coming in to our small businesses. He also highlighted on two great initiatives, Startup America and Business USA. These are both out there to help small businesses not only have the resources and advertising for Small Business Saturday, but also funding. And they took the funding processing, made it more streamlined, and made it much more accessible for small businesses, took out a lot of the issues. When you shop small, we're not taking back just our downtowns, but we are taking back the actual heart of our city. I mean, we're really focusing, and this is a very important initiative.